Hey Cactus crew, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Bill. Welcome to my channel. I hope you stick around. If you enjoy this video, give it a like. Comment below, let me know what you think. Share it, and please do consider subscribing. You can follow me on Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook at It's Crystal Bill. Everything is my own opinion as someone who's been on this carousel from hell for 5 years. Not proud of it, but I have been speaking up on a lot of issues. Please make sure you check out the rest of my videos. Let's get into it. Fine people of the neighbourhood in Hanover, this sweet little meek rescue dog was raised in a puppy mill down in Arkansas, was kept tied down in a kennel for purposes of breeding. She has broken teeth in the back of her mouth because she tried chewing through the metal cage she was forced to stay in 24 hours a day. She is a free spirit who is very friendly, and she simply doesn't like to feel trapped any longer. Because of this, she ignores the shock collar. They put a shock collar on an abused dog. Because of this, she ignores the shock collar we've put on her in order to keep her in our fenced yard. Your yard is barely fenced. You've never upgraded it to make it taller. You can't keep your dogs in there. Why don't you build a taller fence? Because you enjoy being looked at. Because you love it. You need public validation even from your neighbours. You both have no self-awareness, both struggling with substance abuse, and you think posting this makes you look good? You put a shock collar on a rescued dog that was fucking raised in a puppy mill. You don't understand what you're doing. Yes, she gets out of the yard. Yes, she sometimes runs into other yards. Yes, this can be a nuisance. I am a reasonable man. No, you're not. I love face-to-face contact and conversation, particularly when it comes to being neighbourly. No, you aren't. And we will go over this because I'm going to go over the police report. And you are not a neighbourly man. You're not someone who loves to face-to-face contact. Because face-to-face contact means you are getting exposed for substance abuse, animal abuse, child abuse, all of the above. And if you aren't, you will be now. I'm putting you on blast. So having said that, please know this. We are trying our best with her, and we will keep her in the harness and chained to the deck. This way, she won't be able to jump the fence. Instead of doing that, why don't you get a better fence? Instead of hindering your dog's progress, because I doubt she feels fucking safe. She was locked in a cage at a puppy mill, and you've chained her back up. She's not free. She's also not getting her needs met. I'll link my previous videos on the dogs in the description box and also the pinned comment. Please make sure you check them out. This way, she won't be able to jump the fence. Also know this, she may from time to time break free and get over the fence again. It happens. And now for a simple request. The next time, please try to do the neighbourly thing and come talk to us first before calling the police. Thank you and have a happy holiday. Your neighbours need to call animal control. Instead of dealing with their issues, you lock 6 animals inside. At night, the dogs are put in rooms. The cats are put in cages. What the fuck are you doing? You are abusing your animals. Hi friends. Good morning. I want to address something to put this to rest and to set the record straight. About a month ago, a creator made a video about an incident that occurred at my home with a police report involving our neighbours. I understand that as a creator, that my personal life can be of interest to people. I have no problem with questions and or being transparent about my legal issues that I've dealt with over the years. I believe the incident that has been shared is being widely over-dramatised. I did not watch the video. Well, why not? Why not? Why didn't you learn your lesson when you didn't watch LB's video about Janelle's brother? I did not watch the video, and I do not watch videos about me. Well, why are you commenting about it then? Without the full knowledge, wouldn't you look like a fool? I know about this because people have left comments about this. Obviously, you have watched it and you are rattled. When this incident happened, I did share on my channel my frustration. I deleted the videos and any mention of this incident out of respect for my neighbours, and to not fan the flames any further. Because you're the bad neighbour? Because you're the only neighbour that has not got a proper fence for your dogs that are coonhounds that can jump fences? You've got the type of fence you can just step over, that stupid wire fence like the schoolyard. Not meant to be a proper fence, but you love it because your family is a show pony family. You love being gawked at. You hope that people are looking at you while you're living your life for 10 minutes before you go back into your house. You are the annoying neighbours that need to make noise and racket to get attention because that's what you crave.
Hound, follow your gun. That was awesome.
And you crave making up lies about your neighbours, not expecting your neighbours to go, well, that's not true. We used to be in a community group with them, an old community post about this situation. This situation is in regards to Sweetie, the first coonhound that they adopted in 2018 from a puppy mill. Sweetie is the one that has jumped fence multiple times. Sweetie is the one that now, when she goes out to the toilet, is locked onto a yard chain. So a puppy mill pup was adopted, rescued, and now is not free again because we have two twits in active addiction, unwilling to train their dogs, unwilling to do anything for their dogs' needs. They don't even walk them. No exercise, but I 100% believe they drug them with trazodone. Incident in 2020 led to no arrests, no charges, and no lawsuits. Yeah, you were lucky because you were lying about your pride flag. It's 2020.
Today he threatened our dogs and he threatened to kill us. They said it's because you have that fucking flag out there. Like, are you serious? It's 2020.
At the time, we were dealing with an issue with our neighbour and our dogs. Both of us have dogs. The dogs were barking at each other, causing issues with the fencing.
You guys, I came outside because I wanted you to legit hear all the dogs in my neighborhood.
Over several months, there was escalating frustration on both sides due to the issue with our dogs. The incident that occurred was regrettable for all parties involved. We had recently adopted a dog, a rescue, and were dealing with her jumping the fence and running into our neighbours' yards. I know this was very upsetting to them. We worked with local law enforcement and our vets to ease the issue. We also agreed to keep our issues offline and not discuss our issues on social media. But here you are, doing it. So what's going on there? You're a walking hypocrisy, contradiction, nation. There was no physical violence. There were a lot of angry words shouted, but the police came and calmed the situation down. Since this incident, we have had no additional issues. We took steps to build onto our chain link fence, and there is now a barrier between the two homes, having fully fenced in yards. We have taken steps to ensure that our dog no longer jumps the fence. There have not been any other issues related to our dogs because you keep them inside and drug them during the day. And they're only allowed outside to piss and poop, and then you have to drag them back inside. Exercise? They wouldn't even know what that is. They look sad in all their photos, but you use them as props. And these are two coonhounds, hunting dogs, bred to hunt. And what has she done? Locked them in a house with 4 innocent cats. And the amount of times these dogs have hunted and attacked the cats? Numerous times. And Katie's posted it. The gashes and the cats. I'm not going to post it because that shit kills me. And Katie enjoys sharing the puppy mill story, the history of Sweetie. And it's disgusting. She's drooling and smiling at the trauma that her dog has gone through. Yet she will not even provide a safe environment where this dog does not need to feel like it has to flee. Why is it needing to jump the fence all the time? Your fence has never been fixed, Katie. Your fence is the same fence it's always been since you moved into the house in 2013. How do I know this? Because you've shared photos. You've shared everything because you're so fucking desperate for public validation. That's how you live your life. You can't just go off and live your life and be happy. It's adopted 2 pretty high needs rescue dogs that had histories of abuse and neglect and needed a bit of love and training. But 4 years later, we are on a much better track and the girls are both much better behaved and trained because you keep them locked in the house and sedated. We adopted 2 pretty high maintenance rescue dogs. Why? Why? When you have a child that you like to say is medically fragile, why would you then go and adopt 2 pretty high needs rescues dogs that you haven't ever given them any training? No behavioural therapy, nothing. Your son is scared of them. That's why they're locked in your room. Because when your son's upstairs or downstairs, they jump up on him.
Can you hang out with Frida or something? I don't know, you're bastard. No! Oh, no, it's fine. No! Fine. Totally fine, honey. It's okay. No, it's fine. I've never agreed. It's fine. Okay? Oh, sure. Yeah, it's okay, honey. See, look, there was another example.
They jump up on the nurses. You've done nothing to help these dogs. But just like you do with your son, give them a little bit of your medication. You know, everything's all right as long as you don't tell the world and as long as no one figures you out, you know. But I fucking figured you out. You are abusing your animals and your child. I'm just letting you know, you know. We know. Do you know? No denying it, Katie. No denying it, because you've got no self-awareness. And we do. And we see everything. I am sharing this now because I love the neighbourhood that I live in. I do not want any issues with any neighbours that we have remained civil and respectful to since this incident occurred. We also do not want to add any stress to our neighbours, as one of them has been dealing with significant health-related issues. Your whole presence is a stress in this neighbourhood. Owning a home isn't always easy, and living next to people can definitely cause disagreements. I know that my husband and I learned how to be better dog parents while also respecting our neighbours. That's a bunch of bull dang. You deliberately chose dogs that needed therapy, that have high anxiety needs, so that you could get the trazodone, in my opinion, because we are talking about addiction here. We are talking about full-blown substance abuse in the Paulson house. And Katie thinks no one can see. I see you, Katie. I fucking see you. We have worked hard to be good neighbours to those around us, and I don't want something getting brought up years later to change the work that all of us have done to improve our relationships. I'm sure the creators can dig and find other police reports to my home. We have many, and I'm slowly making my way through them. I was a victim of a stalker in 2020 to 2022. We had a lot of false calls made to police as a means to harass us. Yeah, Katie, we know by you. We know that you did it. Nat didn't do it. Nat has been cleared. Yeah, did you know that Nat has been cleared of any wrongdoing? She was manipulated by two narcissists, you and someone else, you know. But we'll talk about that later when you're behind bars. It's coming, Paulson. We worked with law enforcement to manage this issue and have not had any visits from the police due to calls from online harassers for a couple of years now. Huh? Well, must have been a few days after this that you were shouting from the rooftop that the cops are at your house again because people are harassing you because you're the archival consultant for Dancing for the Devil Netflix docu-series. Everyone wants to stalk you and stop you from talking because you're the only one talking, and the survivors can't even talk because you're the only one talking. I'm a pretty boring person. Fucking oath you are. You're the most boringest, monotone person I've ever come across. Like, there's nothing special about Katie Joy. There's no achievements that make Katie Joy special. What? You got a Spanish degree? You aren't an advocate. You aren't a journalist. You aren't a psychologist. All of these fields you wish that you had studied in, so you had some idea of how people are manipulating you 24/7. But you think you're above all that. You can tell when people are lying to you. Let's ask Clark Swanson that. I'm a pretty boring person, so I hope this helps to clear up the issues. I'm not upset or hurt that the report was shared, and I understand this happens as part of my job. I'm simply clarifying what actually occurred, and that I would appreciate if my neighbours could be kept out of this because they have a lot they are dealing with at this time. Thanks, Katie Joy. I'm never going to stop talking for the 6 innocent animals that don't have a voice, and your son whose story and voice you have stolen. I'm not going to shut the fuck up, so... Yeah, what a bunch of bulldang. On the 16th of December 2018 at 6:40 p.m, I went to the address of in Hanover in the request of deputy regarding an animal complaint he had received earlier in the day. I spoke with Catherine Paulson and Todd Paulson, who stated that they owned the dog that was reported running at large earlier. Catherine stated that the dog was a 3-year-old female coonhound named Sweetie, who they had adopted in March 2018. Sweetie is brown, white and black in colour, weighs approximately 60 pounds and seemed friendly towards new people while I was in the residence. Catherine advised that Sweetie was up to date on all vaccinations and goes to the vet. I advised Catherine and Todd at Hanover's Dog at Large City Ordinance and that they were receiving a warning for the violation today. Catherine stated that she understood and added that they currently have a fence in their backyard and that Sweetie is able to climb over it. You get a warning. So why not build a bigger fence? They've still got the same fence today in 2025. 6 years later, still got the same fence that Sweetie can jump over. Catherine stated that she would look into a large fence so that there were no issues in the future. Catherine and Todd stated that they did not have any further questions. Of course, all talk, no action. So next time you're in Katie's chat, why don't you ask her why she never got a bigger fence and why she chose to drug her dogs during the day, keep all her animals, 6 animals, 4 innocent cats and 2 innocent rescues locked inside her house 24/7. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. On the 20th of December at 4 p.m, I made contact with reporting person Catherine Paulson by phone regarding a neighbourhood dispute animal complaint. Catherine reported her neighbour had yelled at her from his property. Catherine reported he yelled at her saying, "Keep those dogs off my property." Catherine reported that she has dogs that have jumped the fence onto the property before. Catherine reported she believed the dogs had not gone onto the property today. Catherine reported her neighbour yelled, "I will shoot those things if they step on my property." Catherine reported her neighbour did not show or brandish any type of weapon while saying this. Catherine reported she was never threatened. Catherine reported she did not want me to make contact with her neighbour in regards to the issue, and she would attempt to handle the situation civilly. Catherine reported she only wanted the situation documented. Catherine was advised to call with any further issues, and the call was ended.
But yeah, I am the angry feminist with a disabled child that, is a liberal in a red county. That, by the way, I have a rainbow flag on our front house, on our front pole, just to do a proverbial F you to my neighbors.
Dear neighbours, it's a hate crime and terroristic threat to target someone based on their sexual orientation. We don't have to like each other, but leave our flag alone. Your dogs all bark. All of you do things that are annoying as hell. We aren't better than anyone else. Stop running around gossiping about us. Find a hobby, get a therapist, or find a friend. I don't hate you all. Please leave us alone. Leave our flag alone. We will find out who has been egging, silly stringing, throwing rocks at our cars, and destroying our pride flag. The sheriff that you called on us told us that destruction of a pride flag is a hate crime, punishable by years in prison. No matter what you do, you can't stop my pride.
They've threatened to kill our dogs. Today he threatened to kill our dogs and he threatened to kill us. They said it's because you have that fucking flag out there. My husband went outside and they started talking, and then he was like screaming at my husband and then trying to talk to him, and he just kept cursing at us, and he was just like, "Your dogs, it's that flag, nobody likes you, everybody hates you, you're such an asshole." Like, it was just crazy. It's a pride flag, like a rainbow flag for pride. You want to see it? I'll show you. That's a flag. Just a pride flag. See? And they've ripped it. Look what they've done to it. They've destroyed it. And they, this was up here and it was bent, and they were at our house, and they came to our house and they somehow bent the pole off. Shredded now. It has tons of holes. So they're going back and forth. He again talks about how he's gonna do that stuff to our dogs, and then he tells me that he's gonna do that to us. And the funny thing is they call the cops on us. The cops get to our house and we tell them what happened, and they were just like, what happened to your flag? And we're like telling them, and they're like, "That's a hate crime." And we were like,
"Yeah, I know."
So now they want us to install cameras. Very next time I saw them, it was the husband, and he was literally threatening me with taking putting my dogs down. You know what I mean? Like, bang, bang.
April 5, 2020, at approximately 2:40 p.m, dispatch advised 2 neighbours were yelling about dogs barking. I arrived in the area and was approached by a male. "That's the problem house," and pointed to his neighbour. He also pointed to and stated that they were the ones that called 911. The neighbours had let their 2 dogs out back, and they started barking. Her husband asked them to do something about the dogs, and the male came out from the house and started yelling. She said that they were trying to talk to the male and he wouldn't listen. They got fed up and called 911. So this is what Katie's neighbour had reported. The neighbour's husband asked the Paulsons to do something about their dogs, and the male came out from the house and started yelling. She said that they were trying to talk to the male and he wouldn't listen. They got fed up and called 911. The neighbour told me that he hollered at the neighbours to put the dogs inside while the female was on the deck. The female went inside and then the male came out. The male started yelling at him, so he yelled back. They eventually walked away from each other and then called 911. I spoke to the residents, Catherine and Todd Paulson. Catherine was upset. She told me her family is being targeted because they're Democrats and they support LGBT groups. She said that they've had multiple issues with their neighbours regarding property lines and the dogs barking, some of which was believed to say, "I'll shoot your dogs if you don't keep them quiet." She said then the neighbours tell the other neighbours what's going on and they start making complaints on them or spreading rumours. She stated today that she let her dogs out of the house, was on the deck with their dogs out. Her dogs started barking at the neighbours' dogs, which made the neighbours mad, and they yelled back. They yelled something at her, similar to, "E.T. quit fingers, get those fucking dogs inside, and make sure those damn things stay quiet." She went inside and told Todd, which made him mad. So he came out to tell the neighbours to talk to him if there was a problem. Todd said Catherine came inside and told him the neighbour was yelling at her, so he went onto his deck and started hollering at the neighbour. He said the neighbour had wireless earbuds in and didn't hear him, so he started yelling. The neighbour eventually heard him and started yelling back. The two yelled back and forth and then went inside their homes. Todd stated that they've had issues in the neighbourhood in the past with people throwing items at their home, damaging his gay pride flag, spreading rumours, etc., and he believes it's because of their political views. He's never been able to prove it, but believes it's true. Todd clarified that comments about shooting the dogs was a previous issue and had already been reported, and that no direct threats were made today. After hearing their side, I spoke to the neighbours again. I questioned the neighbours about the language used towards Catherine, to which he admitted to. He then went on to complain about how the dogs jump his fence and bark at his 3 small dogs. He and his wife became agitated and wanted to make them do something about the dogs barking. It should be noted that the neighbour was wearing wireless earbuds during our conversation. I advised all 4 of them of the city ordinance pertaining to dogs, that there are no violations with today's issues, and that if they are in any disagreement on political or personal beliefs, that they need to set them aside and be neighbourly, meeting cordial, and to work with each other if there's further issues. I also advised that if things continue to be an issue and escalate, that there's possibility for charges of city or state violations. They weren't happy with that answer and seemed to understand why. The situation was mediated with no charges or issues.
Do I see it snowing outside? Hold on. It's snowing. Our flag is broken. It's ripped. It's very windy here.